guys? Messenger of the Cross, Pulse Point Media. So I was just thinking today about the nature of warfare that is hidden, that is undetectable, really, that provides plausible deniability. And the way that's done is in unique, well-crafted, and manipulative, deceitful ways in which warfare can be carried out and hidden at the same time, and control and influence can be imposed on the general public and on whoever they selectively target and decide to go after. And you know the watch list, they're all BS, you know what I mean? And we see so many people just get labeled and profiled with no due process. They're just guilty because an authority figure says they're guilty, with no due process, no investigation, no looking into anything, no trial, no ability to face your accusers. And that's why they do the slander and smear campaigns as a form of policing, because it engages, the rest of the community in a hostile way against you. You know what I mean? And they are able to compete. And it's all centered around making war, but they call it a competition in the new warfare space. That warfare space is when you walk to your car, when you go check the mail, when you go on a drive, when you go on a walk, when you go to the store. And as I've said always, the warfare is done with plausible deniability and done so that it can be hidden, so that the abuse can continue, so that they can just keep abusing no matter how much evidence you have, no matter how much you complain, no matter how much you have the proof of being followed and stalked and watched and having your property damaged and having the directed speech, the gaslighting, the street theater, the performance. All of a sudden, one day, all these people just want all your attention, and they want it 24/7 and become desperate in trying to get that attention from you. So the warfare is done less than lethal means, engaging the public, being an influence to modify and shape and control behavior, and I'd say through pain compliance. That is the main way. Torture. And to them, it's just a game. It's just, you're just a number. It's just, it's just a game, a sport. To enter into your life subtly and to subvert and to undermine and to sabotage, to get a breakdown, to get a collapse. You see, they're not directly engaging you as much as they're engaging your resources and collapsing and controlling them, or engaging the benefit of your hard labor and work, and the results of that are competed over. It doesn't matter what you produce or what you have in terms of abilities, because you will be stuck in this 2 steps forward, 2 steps back dance. You make a move, you adjust yourself, you create the stability, you create the security, and then next thing you know, these people show up in your life and are competing over those resources, trying to break them, trying to collapse them, trying to destroy them, trying to remove them. And they snicker and they roll their eyes and they shake their head, they huff and puff and laugh and chuckle and think it's cute and funny, because the more you complain, the worse it makes you look. Sure, John, people are just following you around for the last 25 years and damaging your car, damaging where you live, damaging where you work, damaging all your relationships. The money is there. The programs are there. The laws have been passed. The patents are there. And many, many more proofs in terms of what we as targeted individuals have been put through. And they are torturing us. They are competing with us to such a degree in this sport that is warfare, really, but it's a sport to them. It's cute. It's funny to sacrifice someone who they have labeled and deemed and have, trial and jury out the door. Punishment is carried out with nobody being able to even contradict the so-called authority. It is warfare. It is entering into a space, a battle space that our military enters into and is trained to do. A battle space that is somewhere between armed conflict, as Dr. or Colonel Wendell says. Colonel Wendell Limbach says that they're here to operate below the level of armed conflict and still yet engage for behavior modification, for compliance, and whatever that agenda is, whatever they set. If you somehow find yourself speaking out against it or speaking against it or don't like being tortured and you decide, I'm going to start talking about these things and what I've been put through, what I've suffered for the last 25 years. Our lives have been put in danger time and again. We stand in jeopardy every hour. We stand in jeopardy every hour. We are being treated in the United States by profile policing. And then they just get to take those terms and words and language and then redefine what those terms mean. Like I said, it was, 9/11 and then some brown guy in a cave that our whole entire government was going after. They didn't find the WMDs. They didn't find any of the things that they said they were looking for, but they were looking for this guy in a cave. And yet, we see that the apparatus that has been put in place was really aimed and directed at the American people. The more they radicalize, the more they creep forward with their tiptoe, with their dictatorship, with their executive orders, with their crisis management, with the crisis after crisis to put you in a state of fear, to put you in a state of fight or flight or fawn or freeze. And that is what they're doing. It's the chilling effect. They want you to feel overwhelmed and too busy with trying to manage the collapse and the control game that they're playing with you intentionally and deliberately. It is to hurt you. It is to break you down. It is to sabotage and undermine and cut against any source you have that's supportive. So really, it's just, it's all about a competition game. And as long as they can keep the competition going, they can hide the abuse and the warfare tactics through just simply creating an environment that is highly competitive over where you live, over who you're friends with, over where you work, over where you play, over getting food at the grocery store. You will have people, if you're a targeted individual, mirroring you and mimicking you and synced up to you, that every time you reach for the counter to grab an item off the shelf, there will be dudes in red shirts reaching for that same item at the same time and, trying to wrestle it out of your hands. That's literally the comedic level of this harassment. They do such sensational abuse because it provides the cover, because nobody's gonna believe that you are being followed and harassed, and colors are being used to sensitize you, to anchor you, to get your attention so that they can speak to you. Directed speech, not using words necessarily. Using items, using objects, placing those items, placing those objects. And it defies the laws of probability. It's so much so that you'd have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. Like to have these things occur in a pattern again and again and again and again and again. You go outside, they go outside. You go on a walk, they go on a walk. You go to the grocery store, there they are, just, crossing your path. And they'll do things like where they just cross your path again and again and again and again until it feels like you can't take it anymore. They mob you, they swarm you, they surround you, they submerge you in these tactics of abuse and control where it is the only experience you have. People betraying you, lying about you, slandering you, competing with you over things that do not belong to them. These things that I'm talking about, that these covert malignant narcissists, perps, do in their abuse is so over the top and so deeply damaging and hurtful and wrong and immoral and psychotic. It's psychotic. Finding out after you surveil someone, their vulnerabilities, and then keying on those vulnerabilities and focusing on them is a warfare tactic and strategy. And it's spiritual war, it's mental war, it's emotional war. And we didn't ask to be nominated to be a part of this. All we wanted to do was live a quiet life and just, get away from the constant torture and abuse that we're experiencing. And they will psychically drive you with torture and abuse. They will psychically drive you until you're willing to hurt yourself or hurt others in desperation. That is what the phenomenon of a lot of these stories we see, whether real or fake, that's not the issue right now. The issue is we never saw this type of phenomenon happen ever growing up. And it's because individuals, innocent American citizens, are being tortured. It is because there is a covert, malignant, sadistic war that is hidden in plain sight and scalable to bring force in an instant. You heard Colonel Wendell Limbach say, that most Marines are trained to use lethality and want to use lethality. And yet these same Marines that have compromised, that have really violated every human right, are functioning and operating domestically, trying to find new reasons and new purposes for their presence and existence. And it's all hidden in plain sight. It's all concealed and covered with dudes in regular clothes. And they are engaging by this competition game. We didn't ask for it. We didn't want it. We didn't even know half the time what was even going on. One day the light switch went off. And it's literally, it's like flicking a light switch. One day you have a normal life up until this point. And then all of a sudden, collapse, control, collapse, control, collapse, control. Stealing resources, time, energy, and money and siphoning that off just to waste it. Not to even steal it or use it for their own. It's really just to waste it in front of you and let you know that, if they can't have it, nobody can type of attitude over you. And so when you succeed, when you provide for yourself, when you take care of yourself, when you uphold your own life through different healthy actions, and you find that each adjustment you make is met with conflict and hostility and a breakdown and a collapse, and you just fighting to keep the basics alive, just fighting tooth and nail, just to keep the basics. And it's not by accident that the economy is used as a weapon of domination and control. We are all wage slaves. We are all people usually who only imagine that we're free because of the propaganda. I want you to know, guys, that there is a war happening in the United States. It's subversive. It is sabotage. It is undermining. It is gaslighting. It is provoking. It is damage to property. It is breaking in your house again and again. It is stealing items, damaging items, crippling your autonomy. And who else would have an interest in isolating and crippling somebody's influence and crippling somebody's autonomy and independence and ability to choose? Who would do that? You know what I'm saying? Who is invested in being concerned over the behavior of millions? You see, the time, energy, and money has been spent in figuring out new ways to use the military domestically, hidden in plain sight, dudes in regular clothes, policing the United States in this new police state where they have the threat fusion centers and all this joint effort in working together and having the tools, as Colonel Limbach said, having been given the tools to exist in a battle space without being detected, to exist right in plain sight. And for those of us that can see, they mock us, they laugh, they do whatever they can to call us crazy. This guy thinks the military's on the streets, policing the United States. I don't know, Colonel Limbach seems to agree with me. You know what I mean? The colonel who is pushing for the deployment and use of all these new exotic weapon systems that are novel weapon systems that have nothing to do with rubber bullets or mace, you know what I mean, or non-lethal as they describe it. There is lethality behind the weapons platforms that they are using. They will burn you alive and then just make it look like an accident or some disease or that something bad has happened to you that nobody can seem to figure out. They are taking lives. They are deciding who you associate with, who you are in a relationship with. It's not natural. It's not normal. The control over being able to be around and with whoever you gravitate towards, whoever you're electromagnetically resonating with. You know what I mean? But that's not the way it is. They have hijacked human relation and are using EMF broadcast systems to fully remotely control people at a distance. Voice to skull, planting thoughts, planting impulses, planting. It is on the signal level. It is on the molecular level. It is that deep. It is using microwave pulse energy to fry you in your home and to broadcast conversations in your head. You know, that's what the fray effect, look it up, or the auditory hearing effect that is created by the use of microwaves. And the different frequency ranges that they have are never really followed because, hey, if you're a Marine, you join the Marines for lethality. That's why you join the Marines. You wanted to be given that right to be able to, have that privilege of using lethality. Most Marines I know join the Marines because they want to fight for our country, and they want to throw down. They're the front lines. You know what I mean? So now we have, through the JIFCO, the Marines operating domestically with all the other branches of the government, but prosecuting a war that they haven't announced to you. They haven't announced what they're doing under these emergency executive orders, where they just don't announce that there is this warfare happening in the United States. It's undermining, it's sabotage, it's damage to property, it's eliminating you as an influence. They don't want you to have a voice or influence or be believable or any of those things. And they will take great pains to try to remove the credibility, to try to remove the authenticity and the genuineness. And they'll even do crimes in your name. You understand what I'm saying? They do crimes in your name and then point the finger in an orchestrated, coordinated, agreed upon way. How many times have many of us gone through the false accusations, the lies, the prosecution, and just would get run over because there is this agreed upon agenda and family and friends just go along with it? It would have to be an authority figure that is supreme to be able to get family and friends just to accept fake dossiers and never look into anything, never question anything, never ask questions, never analyze what we're saying. Analyze my life, analyze what I'm saying about the community-based policing being followed and harassed, and property damage and gaslighting and psychological warfare every day in America. This is why people don't feel that good, because, there is this sabotage of the natural flow of life. There is a sabotaging going on. And this new battle space, to compete in it, Colonel Wendell Limbach says that to compete in this new battle space, they have to have new silent weapon systems that are used to torture and modify behavior. They won't kill you, he says, but they can go into an area and make everybody docile and make everybody feel sick and puke and nauseous so that everybody just stands down as they operate domestically. They can make you throw up, they can make you sick, they can make you have to go to the bathroom again and again. It is humiliating, the types of things that they do. They can sexually assault you even with EMF broadcast systems. They can sexually assault you, rape your mind, your nervous system, your senses, your environment. You see, guys, it's all been weaponized. It's all been weaponized, and you just got to wake up to the fact that people have declared the citizens of the world as enemy combatants. Okay, what's up, guys? I just want you to notice this in the background. You see that red car right there? The dude walking, just getting out of his red car. But here's me over here, just coming out of the store. You notice the red car next to me? You see that? And this parking lot was empty. So I pull in right here, guys. And then this guy pulls in next to me. But they come and go with you no matter what time of the day you come and go. And they are always watching, stalking, harassing, bullying. See, I'm just coming to my car. And he's gonna obviously turn in here. Then we've got some activity out here. But notice how they creep by, guys. Notice how they creep by. Notice how they creep. You know? So, anyways, guys, let's get in. All right, guys. So, yeah, we just got, community-based policing. Before I went into the store, I pulled in. This was all dead back here. All of a sudden, these two white cars pull in front of me. There's a white car, red car. So you notice that I'm always being surrounded by red and white cars. So here comes another red car. I'm just cruising along nice and slow. Community-based policing 101. You guys are going to be in checkmate, I'm telling you. Checkmate, baby, checkmate, checkmate. See, that's a lady that just rolled and creeped by me all slow, and she's just sitting up there at the store, probably waiting to pick somebody up, because that gives them the probable deniability, the plausible deniability, I mean. I say probable, but you know what I mean? It's like, you get what I'm saying. Plausible deniability. Hey, I'm just picking up somebody from the store, man. Man, what's your problem? You're so paranoid, man. Like, what's your problem, bro? You're just so paranoid. You know what I mean? You just don't get it, bro. Like, you need medication, bro. So this is the grocery store I go to. I am followed, I am harassed. Oh, what do you know? A red car pulls in next to me and parks next to me and gets out at the same time as me. Oh. Okay, let's try to drive, guys. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna put my seatbelt on. And let's see if we can drive okay here. See you later, gang stalkers. You little perps. Little perps, little perps. Woohoo! So most people would just think that that's nothing, that's common and ordinary. But for us who are targeted individuals, we are sensitized to colors because they use colors to abuse us. You know what I mean? Directed speech, communicating messages in plain sight, in front of everyone, so the abuse can be hidden. Oh, is the abuse hidden? And notice, I'm always getting white cars. Just always doing things. Yeah, guys, so I'm just driving right now. You know, it's totally crazy what we go through as targeted individuals. And it's not right, you know, what we go through, what we're dealing with. I'm sweating my ass off. Love you guys. So it's all about containing you. It's about keeping you stuck, keeping you out of a position of mobility. They don't want you moving around. Now look at this right here, guys. All right, so we're just still driving on the same road. I just wanted to point out the white cars that are positioned as spotter cars all along the route. They know where you're going, they know what you're doing, they know what you're thinking, they know what you're feeling. White car behind me. White car ahead of me. See that white car behind me? In the rear view? Boom. 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 Just picking them off. It's Red Car Palooza. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Nothing like red. And look at behind me, guys. You think I'm being tailed? I don't know. Maybe I could be. You never know. You think I'm being tailed, guys? Total pure harassment. And the more I drive around, the more they will escalate the abuse. Bottom line. Let's see, I'm going to go right here. Let's see if Pony Boy wants to go right. Let's see if Pony Boy wants to go right. Let's see if he follows me. You're not going to follow me, Pony Boy? That's what I thought, Pony Boy. Oh, you're going to stop? You see him stop? You see him back up? Looks like Pony Boy had second thoughts. Come on, Pony. Come on, Pony Boy. Woo! I'm getting ready to rock. Little water over there, guys. Check it out. Little water feature. Now we're coming into the roundabout. I don't get how these people can't flow through the roundabout, if you know what I'm saying, guys. Like, I'm already catching up to this guy. Barely moving, man. These boomers don't know how to drive, you know? Baby boomers that had it all and were spoiled to death. And then transferred all that debt onto us to carry. No house, no job, you know, all of it. Community-based policing. Hey. All right, guys, we're just documenting this drive this morning. I'm just trying to show you guys that if I stay in an area for any time at all, I'll be surrounded by red and white cars. And it is a form of abuse. It is a form of warfare. It is a form of less than lethal means to deal with quote unquote supposed threats. Threats. You mean like being independent, being autonomous, having my own choices? Oh, you mean like being responsible and accountable? Oh yeah, something in which you don't know anything about, perp. But I assure you that in the end, and along the way, God is going to checkmate you. He is going to checkmate you. And I'm very confident about that. You know, you push forth somebody's calamity and you dig a pit for somebody and you will fall into it yourself. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. And here's, you know, Satan's little store right here. Satan's little store. Yeah. Notice, guys. Popping out, red. Always crossing paths. Always running intercepts. And it's always paired together. So here comes the white car after that. I'm just letting you guys see the light harassment that is not directly engaging me as much as engaging my property, engaging my relationships, engaging whether or not things are going to survive, and breaking and destroying and ruining my property. They love to do it. They love to damage you. So we're going to go right here. White car. White car. Now you notice in the distance, red on its way and white going the other way. So they're usually paired together. What are the chances of seeing all these red and white cars paired together? But here they do. Roll by me. Now look at this, guys. I pull up to the stop sign right here, and look at what I'm having to see. Look at this. Make sure I notice you with your big truck. And by the way, white car following me. White car following me. This is the name of the game. They do this to me every day, 24/7. 24/7. Yeah, you can go. Wow, he was nice. I just played a game of chicken with somebody trying to get them to cross the road, so I was trying to be courteous and loving and nice. And you guys see in my rear view mirror? Oh yeah, well, get all these smiles all the time. Be better than the frowns and the mean mugs that they give me, but it's all psychological warfare. They want to break you and get you to hurt yourself and hurt others. And that's the name of the game. That's what family and friends are a part of in keeping things safe. In the name of keeping things safe, they have decided to basically execute us with death by 1,000 cuts. There's nobody that could survive this. I mean, there's nobody that could make it. They cut you off from everything. And then you're just existing, trying to survive the next crisis and collapse. There we go. And here comes the security. Right there. Another white car. I mean, you might say, hey, John, you're in a hot state. You know, there's a reason for all the white cars, but what about the red ones? And what about them being paired together? And what about them crossing my path again and again and again and again and again, defying the laws of probability, man? You know what I mean? Like I said, you'd have a better chance at getting struck with lightning. I just did that, so don't tell anybody. Just did a little U-turn there. It's our little secret. All right, here we go. Going back through one more time. I'm just cruising, just driving. They know I'm filming, so they lay off. But their people are all around me. Dudes in regular clothes, trained revolutionary, military. Just thanks to the Marines who police the United States. In the name of an emergency, in the name of terror. It gives them the upper hand to suspend the law and bring nothing but violence and destruction to innocent people. You might think it's sensational, you might think it's crazy, but just look into it. The military themselves declare what they're doing in this less than lethal force that they are presenting, and that they are, you know, present in the streets of America in regular clothes, operating domestically, operating on innocent civilians, because they know they're getting ready to pull the plug, guys. They're getting ready to pull the plug. Everything that's set up is a lie. Everything is a scam. Everything is a hustle. Everything is a con artist game. Everything is a lie. Everything we know. Everything we think we know. And we're in our 40s. Notice all the white cars, guys. Notice all the white cars. All right. Just gonna cruise back through. You'd think that there's only white and red. I mean, literally. And they're not even sweating me right now like they usually do. Because they don't want me to get them on film and then talk about it. You want to talk about it? I'll talk about it. That's the thing about me, guys, is like I'm the type that never really gets afraid. I don't get intimidated. I'm like an alpha male. Like I don't get intimidated by people, especially physical threats, just because, I mean, I played hockey my whole life, so it's not like I'm scared, but it is stupid. It is immature and infantile, the level of provoking to physical violence that these people do by damaging your property, breaking in your home, letting you know that you can't do anything about it. They come to your job. They follow you to your job. They follow you to the store. They follow you wherever you go. All street theater, all made to look natural, normal to the common observer, and yet they are making war against American citizens. All right. All right, guys, you see that? The guy just zoomed across, white car. I didn't catch it on tape because I was switching camera angles. But as soon as I do that, as soon as I do that, these punks are ready to cross your path. And they will cross your path and run an intercept on you until you are broken, until you cry to mommy. Like, that's literally what they do. I got like lotion or something. All right, guys, we're just cruising. I'll turn the AC down a little bit because it's brutally cold. So I'm just driving, guys. I'm just going through an area near my place and an area that I sometimes come up to. And I am just literally just driving just to see how things go in the morning. As we notice, as soon as I switch camera angles, you know what I mean? It's like they know how to time the abuse because there's abject surveillance. They know what we're doing. They know where we are. They know what we're thinking. They know our inner dialogue. They know where we're going to be, where we're going to go. They know our inner choices. And they game us. And they play an ugly sport where they try to eliminate you. And we are just here, not just surviving. We are overcoming with great victory because we're committed. And we're committed all the way to the end. So you know you messed with the wrong one, partner. All right, guys, we're getting back on the highway. Let's see how it goes. Let's jet out and get on this highway right here. It's not a mistake that a white car crosses my path the very second I'm coming onto the road. We got white cars coming the next opposite direction. Woohoo! A lot of the street theater is staged skits, basically around the target, very coordinated, very organized, designed to provoke, designed to get you to engage and react. We're coming up to a stoplight here. As soon as I put my camera down, it gets wild, guys. You know how they roll. You know what they do. They are scam artists. They are con artists. They are actors. They are performers. They are vicious. They are cruel. They are without empathy, without remorse, without sympathy, and seek to take the action to hurt you. Then we've got the cops over here. White, white, white. There he goes. Again, white car behind me. What are the chances? Both coming and going. I had red and white cars, in front of me, behind me. Here's the green light. Don't you love, guys, when they block all three lanes and go really slow? You know what I mean? Like this guy in this lane right here in the left lane, he should be going faster. There's the cops right there. So like I'll usually typically see the police, and it just so happens that as I see the police, I see the red and white cars and the increase of activity when the police show up. If they show up at the park, next thing you know, you got red and white shirts following you in the park. It's insane. How much money is being spent doing this ugliness to innocent people for the potential threat? You know what I mean? And what do you think is going to happen, geniuses, when you militarize the United States and put Marines in regular clothes on civilians to keep things safe? Sounds like a plan to me. Just driving, guys. Just driving. Trying to just relax and take some deep breaths and get the day started. Get the day jump started. Because literally most of us need a defibrillator just to get out of bed because of what they've done to us, but no big deal. We're just marginalized and isolated socially, not intentionally, not because we did anything, not because we hurt anyone, but because they have labeled us and then coordinated family and friends to be a participant in this abuse. Period. And they even admit it. They confess it, they admit it, they brag about it to you. They grandstand over you, they mock, they scoff, they stick out the lip, they shake their heads at you, they roll their eyes, and they are only in competition. And it's that competition that becomes the warfare that is exercised by the Marines. Competition, competition, competition. You just get that one word in your mind. How do we exist, the colonel says, how do we exist in a battle space so that we can go undetected and still use force? Of course, a white van pulls up next to me when I'm parked. And we got a white car over here. White car going there. White car going there. So all three areas of the intersection at the same time, I'll have white cars showing up at the intersection at the same time. Kind of funny the way that works. White car popping out. This is what they always do. Now watch. White car rolling by. White car popping out. Now I got a white car behind me. So I got a red car in front of me, way in front of me, and I got a white car right behind me. So, and this is an obscure road, guys. This road that I'm on is very obscure. There's not a lot of traffic on it. The chances of me the whole time having a red and white car surround me the whole time on this little short trip is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And then we got this red car pulling in, another red car pulling out. So we got this red car right here turning left. And I'm going to go in here. And this is where I'm going to go in. And a red car is popping out just right in front of me so that I see it. And, you know, that's supposed to do something to anchor me, to make me feel like I'm under surveillance 24/7. Again, they'll position red and white cars at the entrance and exits. They will sit in them. They will wait for you, like right over here in this open spot outside the gate. And when you leave, they leave. And when you go to the store, they go to the store. Because just so happens that all your neighbors want to go to the store at the same time as you and cross your path all the time. All right, we're just cruising. Just moseying on through this isolated area to kind of see what goes down here. See if, you know, the tactics of community-based policing are being exercised It is cruel, guys. It is heartbreaking. It is destruction. We'll never probably ever see on the same page as our family members. They have completely sold out. They have completely sold out to this community-based policing, pretending to be heroes and saviors as they feel that they're part of the power structure when they're not. And they are duped. They are deceived. They are conned. And they are on their way to hell. Anybody that could do this kind of abuse is on their way to hell. And I'm not trying to save you. You know what I mean? Because I already realize there's nothing redeemable in you. And I'm talking about the covert malignant narcissist, but notice, guys, I'm rolling. He's got the red lawnmower, and they like to bring those lawnmowers next to your car, shoot rocks up at it. They do whatever it takes, and everybody's involved. But just going real slow. They involve the maintenance, they involve the HOA, they involve everyone. Because it is a system of abuse and control sold to you as something that can keep you safe. So abuse is now used to keep things safe. And the good colonel says, well, it's better than killing you. I mean, you don't want us to kill you, do you? So here I come. Of course, I'm in this neighborhood. There's no cars in here. And of course, I go in this back area and some big red truck has to be there, positioned and waiting for me, literally. And I know that sounds crazy to people that have not gone through this and have not been targeted individuals like me. But the fact is that any real target knows what I'm talking about. And I'm speaking to those people that are actually really being targeted and are not just mentally ill or making up stories or paranoid or any of those kind of things that they like to discredit us by saying. That's why they push so hard to get a bad reaction. White golf cart. That's why they push so hard to get a bad reaction. That's why they do it. Because they're trying to justify their labeling of you. They're trying to put you in that kill box long enough for you to do something to hurt people. That's what they want. And will never, ever give it to them. Okay, look, I'm coming out at this intersection, red golf cart. You see this? All right, and then I'm going to roll through.